Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. Everton 1, Manchester United 3. Pressure. What pressure, Joe?
Yeah, what pressure? They actually looked good, didn't they? That's the. I mean,
I love the way you say actually.
Well,
it's like feels like a rarity, doesn't it? We actually look good this
season.
Such
a weight,
especially in the league.
Such a weight lifted. I mean, we've been so bad in the league. We've been so bad in all competitions for the last. I mean, the Leipzig game was one thing, but then Arsenal was shocking. Istanbul, some of the worst defending I've ever seen from Manchester United.
Agreed.
And to come back and to work harder than Everton, to have more chances than Everton, to look better than Everton. I know they look like a decent team. I think we had to sit back, we had to ride our luck a little bit at times, but they didn't really make many good chances. And United looked like a team where we could tell we're under pressure, but some big performances from big players today. And I'm so happy we won because it was a massive game. That.
I mean, I don't think there's any real criticism of Manchester United. I know that sounds like, well, really? But there isn't, because I think that's the sort of performance where you're going away, all right, there's no crowd, but it's still an away game. So an Everton side who've been doing relatively well this season. And for a big part of that game, it was pretty comfortable. I thought Bruno was outstanding. I thought Fred was fantastic. Personally, I know it sounds crackers because Bruno got an assist and 2 goals, but I thought Fred might have even shaded it for man of the match. Don't shoot me. And I thought we looked a little bit more solid at the back. And also, going forward, all right, it wasn't the best game for Marcus Rashford or Anthony Martial, but they still caused problems. And it was a sort of performance where, if that was under Fergie, you'd be like, yeah, good performance. You wouldn't be going, what's going on? And I think you have to give this team, the manager and the players, credit when they deserve credit, and today's one of those days.
Yeah, Fred was sensational in the midfield, mopped up so many times, won back that sort of... I almost feel a bit unfair, like, summarising him as, like, dogged and hard-working, because he's got more to his game than that. Yeah. But today, that side of his game won us that midfield battle, because the amount of times he was like sniffing around people, they're trying to turn on the ball and he's like right up people, putting like, those 3 or 4 mini tackles in a row where he's just fighting, and he did so many of them. And like I said, Bruno, 2 goals and the assist as well at the end there. The big thing for me, the thing that felt so good about that was, one of the things you could criticise United for against Arsenal and certainly against Istanbul was, it was like, are you lot like? Are you trying? Are you? Adam said it well when he said it felt like everyone was playing for themselves against Istanbul, which is why players are getting dragged to the ball, which is why the communication didn't seem to be there. It was like, I'm trying to make myself look good. Who cares about the team? Today, the way they fought and the energy and the sort of, it felt like this was a team performance where they're playing for a manager. Today, to me, it looked like that they don't want to go, that they like. It felt like they were working hard because they knew they had to work extra hard today. And at a ground where we struggled in recent years as well, and at a team, it's the hipster's choice at the minute, Everton, aren't they? Like, well, Ancelotti, no one was saying how great he was when he was at Bayern Munich and he was at Napoli, but he's come in, he's done good things there, he's made good signings, he was backed, to the tune of 200 million or whatever it's been, and they've got some good players and they've been good at the start of the season. But to beat that team, and let's be honest, we were the better side. We looked. There was times certainly from sort of the 75th minute to maybe the 85th minute where we sat back a little bit, we absorbed a bit of pressure, but it wasn't chance after chance for Everton.
No, and you'd expect that as well, wouldn't you? You'd expect a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Ross Murphy's in the super chat and he asked me, it's a good question, can someone tell me why Pickford kicking Harry Maguire wasn't given a penalty anyway? Doesn't matter, we still won. Maguire, Fred, Bruno, fantastic. That was a bit of a strange one to me. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because we won 3-1, but it did look like a penalty to me. And, obviously I'm biased because I'm a United fan, but even so.
I wonder what the rationale for that was as well. Was it that was the ball already over the line, like for a goal kick? Like, he needed the ball in there, and then Pickford's leg just swung through his middle and kicked him. Like, how is that not a foul? You can't just kick someone in the stomach.
He just seems like an absolute disaster at the minute, Jordan Pickford. And I was getting annoyed at first because we weren't testing him enough. Someone else has said, forgive me, I can't pronounce your name. I think it's Ngoyan. Says, happy for Cavani today. Was it you that was saying you wanted to see Cavani get a goal? You like, if anyone scores today, I wanted to see it be Edinson Cavani. He's off the mark, and hopefully, it wasn't everyone's choice, but he's come in off the mark. Hopefully, he can start contributing with a few more of them.
For a striker as well, when you come into a new club, it always seems, you hear pundits talk about it, you hear players who have played in that role, you're desperate for that first goal because that's where you sort of start from then now. In his head, Cavani's head, his United career starts now. Like, he's got a goal under his belt, he's getting a few more minutes, he's playing in most of the games now, and coming on, obviously, I don't think Martial was bad today necessarily, but it wasn't about Martial today, it was about, like you said, Bruno and Fred and even Rashford, who I think was quite poor. But when Cavani came on, just being in the right place at the right time, stick the ball in the back of the net. But hopefully that'll give him some confidence.
Guys, do like the video as well. Give us a like. The Francie Brady says, Everton tried the tactic a lot of teams try to kick us out of the game, but the lads hammered back hard today, particularly Fred, Harry and Bruno. I felt we had a bit of grit today.
We did. I think maybe we outfought them.
Yeah.
And we did. We saw McTominay with some big tackles, Bruno with some big tackles, and Fred, obviously, like I said, about 40 big tackles. It felt like we had a bit of steel to us. And the Chelsea game, I think they tried to kick us off the pitch a little bit. I think Arsenal, maybe not so much, but they were very physical with us. You saw Rob Holding putting those tackles in. Should have been booked early on. You saw Gabriel taking down Mason Greenwood after he'd gone past him, not getting a second yellow. Adam was saying it again. The perception of Manchester United at the moment is that we're a bit of a soft-bellied side.
Yep. Where
if you get at us, you can rile us up a little bit. You can make us sort of miss passes, give the ball away. But today, I think we matched them. Some big tackles. Like there was one where Maguire, as we mentioned, the penalty. He was in their box. Should have been. Well, I think he was fouled. Should have been given a penalty. And then about 20 seconds later, he goes flying in his own box, wins the ball, clears Digne out as well. I think he was offside. But that sort of tackle where like, not only am I going to be in your box, but I'm going to get back and I'm going to put in a massive challenge myself. I think that sort of thing that sets the tone for the team. I know it was later in the game, but stuff like that where you just go. As a fan, you think, right, we're not going to let them dominate us in terms of physicality. We're not going to make us look soft again. We're going to go in as hard as they were. And I think, sometimes I thought the ref could have done better, but what it allowed for was a game where we actually could prove that we've got a bit of toughness to us, something we've been lacking.
I'm just going to go in for a few comments before we get to the stats. Steve Rowling says, another, in capitals, solid outing from Maguire and Lindelof with both Fred and McTominay in the side. Ryden Stackhouse says Maguire was 100% solid. I love this comment, by the way. Millennial Dad TV says Pastor Fred did the Lord's work today. Couldn't agree more. Thought Fred was excellent. Just going into the stats, Everton, obviously the big one, the score. Everton 1, United 3. Everton had a total of 7 shots, 1 on target, which tells his own story. They didn't even have enough shots on target to draw the game, let alone win it. United had 13 shots, 5 on target. Even-ish possession, 55% possession to Everton, 45% to United. Pass accuracy, 85% to Everton, 41% to United. Clear chances, 4 to United, none to Everton.
There you go.
That's no clear chances. That's being not perfect, but being a lot more solid in defence. Yellow cards, 4 to Everton, 2 to United. Corners, 5 to Everton, 2 to United. 3 offsides for Everton, 1 offside to United. Just quickly on a super chat as well. Maguire was immense. This is from Fergal McClements. Thanks for the super chat. Maguire was immense. Can someone ask Adam why it makes sense for the manager fired from Spurs, for the manager fired Man United fired would be good for United?
Oh, what? Ask him what?
No,
can you ask?
No, I don't.
Why do we want the manager sacked by Cardiff?
We don't, right? I think we do. No.
We can't be having arguments with people off camera.
We've had it a million times. For starters, let me just say this: Adam isn't Ollie out. We know that. What Alan was saying was Pochettino's a good manager. That's what he's saying. And if he come in, he'd probably... He is a good manager. And I think we need to sort of remind ourselves of the argument It went on between Howson and McCullough, which is going to be put up separately, so you can relive it there. You don't need to relive it. You don't need to relive it on mine. This is mine and Joe's fucking 5 minutes on the channel. So forget about Howson and McCullough for 7 seconds.
I was scared. I was scared during that.
I felt sorry for you because you kept saying, "We've got a super chat. Can I just?"
Do you know what I might have to get?
I was like,
I might have to get a powdered wig and a gavel next time. Order. Quiet in the court.
Enough.
You're going to get done for contempt of Paddock in a minute.
Yes. This is about me and Joe. This is about the grown-ups on the channel.
Back to these stats for a sec.
Let's go back to the stats. One thing I want to ask you about, the stat there, which you maybe seem odd that I've picked this one out. 2 yellow cards to United. There was a time when I thought there was going to be 2 yellow cards for Bruno Fernandes. He was very close to the win today, wasn't he?
Bruno
very close to the win.
Must have had about 5-6 fouls, and 2 or 3 of them were after he'd been yelled. Like there was one where he dived in and he got a quarter of the ball, and another one where he was sort of he just swinging the leg through, and you're like, what are you doing? But I think one thing you saw was that the ref, like I said before, was allowing a little bit extra, which sometimes doesn't favour United, or often doesn't favour United, because you think you got to take control of the game, because when we're getting kicked off the pitch, usually it feels like we don't have enough about us to do that back. And I think that's why, and he got some criticism before the game, and there were a lot of people criticising on social media and even in this room, criticising the starting 11. But when you play Fred and McTominay, you get that extra little bit of fire, that extra dig, that extra foul where you think, you know what, we need to stand up to them here. And if we'd have played whoever, let's not get into specifics. I'm not trying to knock anyone. We can play different ways. But I think the fact that we've got a midfield with a range of qualities, that was the right choice today from Solskjaer, because it meant Fred had a brilliant game. McTominay wasn't bad, but what he does do is physical. And when they're trying to rough us up, you've got someone who can rough them up a little bit as well.
There's a few quotes that I'm going to get into in a minute, but just what a change it makes, what a sea change to have a bench where you're bringing on Paul Pogba, Edinson Cavani, and Shaw for Tuan Zabi, which is a pretty solid swap. I mean, if you're an Everton player and you think, oh God, what player's going on? Oh, it's Paul Pogba coming on. Yeah. Oh, player's going on. Oh, fucking hell, it's Edinson Cavani. Like, we've been in, it wasn't this long ago where, our bench was, no respect to him, but Jesse Lingard and Pereira and...
No, it wasn't. The bench, the starting 11 was Jesse Lingard and Pereira. The bench was Chong and...
Yeah, and players that you just, you couldn't really rely on. Just a few quotes doing the rounds, I think, post-game. Bruno Fernandes has been chatting about the first goal. He says, I don't care if Marcus touched it a little bit. It can be his goal. This is no problem for me. Most important for me as number 10 is serving my teammates. Listen,
the second goal.
I love Marcus Rashford more than life itself, but even I can't give him that goal.
Yeah, and he wasn't great today either, was he, Marcus, generally?
He wasn't, but the thing is,
let's not get into all that.
He wasn't great.
Let's say the good stuff.
He at least, caused problems. And same with Martial, you can say, oh, he didn't have great, but he was causing issues, causing problems. Do you know what I mean? Dragging players wide and all the rest of it. Bruno as well saying, we know our quality, we worked hard for the game, which is what you were sort of alluding to earlier. Yeah. It was difficult to recover after the Istanbul game. This was the moment to do something in this game, and we did it. Amazing. Also from Bruno. We did some mistakes in the second half. Maybe we were a bit more confident and wanted to go forward, and we didn't keep the ball too much. After the goal, we had a great reaction, and we did what we had to do. Just on Bruno.
Fantastic.
I mean, it feels years since we've had literally one player, who's come into the United team and made such a massive difference. Like, literally, you've taken a team that got beat 2-0 off Burnley. Everyone was calling for the manager's head. We were at a low ebb. Top four looked like a pipe dream. He's come in. We went on a 22-game unbeaten run where he was man of the match about half of those games. His stats are... Go on, mate. What's that? Sorry.
Luke Shaw's got a hamstring injury.
Oh, right. Sorry. His stats were phenomenal. Not just penalties as well. I think he scored 7 goals from open play this season. So he's,
let's not differentiate between the two.
I know. Just sort of before people sort of jump the gun. He's just been such a massive positive influence on this team, giving everyone a boost, and also added a bit of grit as well. It's not just class.
No.
He's added that grit, and Maka was talking about that will to win and that desire and that anger almost, and we needed it.
And like I said, it's been so long since one player has done that, and it's been this whole thing. I think I saw a stat yesterday where it said since Bruno arrived at Manchester United, he's had 28 goal involvements in 30 games. Now you can't go in front of that camera because that's obvious. What are you going to say?
Check what? Oh, right, yeah, I'm going to get on the quotes in a minute. Got a super chat. Sorry to interrupt you, mate.
It wasn't you, it was him.
Jockey says, Jockey 3000, I will support Ollie till the end. Got the club's interest at heart. I think he has a long-term plan, and I love the man. From a Brexit voter who loves United, and you guys, I'm not getting into politics. You know my thoughts on Brexit, so I'm not going to...
what he's saying is, I'm someone who's quite happy to kick up a fuss when things aren't going the way I want them to. So, if anything, the fact he's Ollie in means more.
Matt Nezza says, Lindelof was weak.
Come on.
And this is quite interesting. He says Colbert Owen had his number all night.
Colbert?
You've lost me on that one.
Calvert-Lewin sounds like Michael.
Right, yeah, whatever. Afik J says, love the selflessness from Bruno at the end. Yeah. Sacrificed a hat-trick for Cavani to get his first goal of the season. Same against Leipzig for Tony's pen. Listen, I wouldn't have blamed Bruno if he'd have shot right at the end. It was almost the last kick of the game. I think it was the last kick of the game. He's on a hat-trick.
And there's a point where it just opened up for him where one of the defenders just took a step to try and half cover Cavani, and there was space when he was on the edge of the box. I thought he was going to hit this, but yeah, he played it across. But back to Bruno, like you were saying before, the difference he's made, and the point I was trying to make before is that I saw a stat on Twitter yesterday where it was like, in the first 30 games Bruno's played for United, he's had 28 goal involvements, and all of the top comments,
stupid.
All of the top comments were only 4 from open play, only 7 from open play, like. I've said it so many times. I'm bored of saying it. The fact that he is our penalty taker, the fact that he is our free kick taker, isn't some knock on him. It's even more testament to the effect he's had on this club to come in straight away and say, you know what, I'm taking penalties. You know what, I'm taking free kicks. No. That's incredible. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
One of the biggest problems we had, I felt, last season was no one really taking responsibility.
Yeah.
No one wanted the ball. Do you remember Bruno's first game against Wolves? And he was screaming at his teammates. He's screaming at Jesse, make that run. He's always trying to go move the ball forward, trying to be positive, trying to get possession, give me the ball, I want it, showing for it, and then trying to make things happen. And it was almost like we had players hiding at times last season, and that was one of the most frustrating things. I've got a few more quotes. We'll get to the Ollie quotes in a minute. Harry Maguire's been talking. Another person, I should say, that was under a lot of pressure. Going into today, I think people have been questioning him, and we know he's had sort of stuff going on. I thought he played really well. He said, we knew we had to get 3 points today. It's early in the season, and we don't look at the table. The points we have accumulated isn't good enough for this club.
Yeah.
I mean,
as I was saying before, forget the Ole in, Ole out stuff. As a Manchester United fan, if you want us to be successful this season, which, let's be honest, if you don't, you're not a United fan.
Have you seen
literally?
I've seen these comments like I want us to lose today because then we'll change the manager.
You're not a United fan, then,
just nonsense,
unfortunately. If you don't want Manchester United to win every game they play, you aren't a fan of that team. You don't like that team. I mean, I understand in your head people who say that it's bigger picture stuff. You're thinking the long-term success of the team might be better without Ole. But if anytime United take the pitch, take to the field, you think, I hope we lose. You've got to reassess how you're doing things.
Yeah, I mean, even under Moyes, when I knew he was a dead man walking and the football was garbage and we weren't going to win anything, I didn't think I wanted us to lose because, someone else is going to come in. He's also said Maguire's also said, it's important to bounce back from setbacks. We did it at Newcastle. We started the game really well, but conceded a disappointing goal from a long direct ball, and we should have had better cover. So he's been pretty honest there because I think, you have to be...
You saw with Bruno as well, he said, second half... we could have done better.
Yeah, there's no point coming out saying everything was perfect. No. That was magnificent performance. There's no issues, whatever. Just going on to the Ollie quotes as well. These boys deserve. This is from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer post game. These boys deserve better. Luke Shaw has got injured because of it. Fixture congestion. Ali was very annoyed at the fact we had to play an early kickoff after playing the Champions League in Turkey. He made his feelings clear about that, and I think he had a point. I think if Fergie had been in charge, he'd have exploded. It's a hamstring, which might be a long one, and Marcus Rashford, might be struggling. That's not what I want.
Shit.
Yep. Solskjaer also says, the authorities set us up for a fail. Who is responsible? We've had enough of that. Players this season in these times, a pandemic, mentally and physically, it's draining. Let us play on Sunday. There's an international break after this. It's a joke.
Especially when we played Wednesday as well and not Tuesday.
Yeah, do you know
I know it's not Thursday and then Saturday morning, but Wednesday away in Turkey and then Saturday morning, I know the kickoff's at 12:30, but they've got to be up at 6 or 7, 8, whenever it is to get to the stadium.
I don't know if it was an old quote or it's a new one from Rooney who said about, early kickoffs when it's an old one, but he said about early kickoffs, you're shoveling pasta down at 9 a.m. or whatever. Yeah. It's hard work.
Exactly. I think it's a fair point. And what I like as well is he's not talking about this was a big win for Manchester United. I needed this for my job. Not obviously he wouldn't say that, but he's talking about the club as a whole. He's talking about let's have a little reaction to how the club's been treated. He's defending the club. He's defending his players publicly, which is what you need a Man United manager to do.
We've got another super chat from Yvonne Batia. Says, all the plastic fans wanting us to lose to boost their egos gone into hiding today. Ollie on the wheel and he drove all over them. Listen, I can understand it, right? If you think for the greater good, if Ollie goes, we're going to get in a manager that I think is going to do a better job at Manchester United. Long term, we're better off. It's just not something I'm into. I can never sit there thinking, I want Manchester United to lose. That's just not in my psyche. And I think a lot of United fans feel the same. Another super chat as well. Mood Swing Gaming. If the internet had existed in Sir Alex Ferguson's first year, these same comments would have been said then, and we all know how that panned out. Long term, give Ollie a chance to really set. And you know what we had? We didn't have the internet in them days. We had bed sheets with brushes on. Remember Pete Molyneux? Pete Molyneux, hey, 3 years and it's still crap. Sarah Fergie. That's how we used to do it in the old days. We didn't need any of that internet. Pieces of paper, hand deliver them. That's how you used to send your messages in my day. Anyway, that's enough nonsense from me. That's been Joe Smith. I've been Jay. You're going to be hearing from Adam McCullough with his 7 reasons. He's going to have his fan cams as well. You're going to be hearing from Stephen Howson. You're going to hear from Alex Baggers. You're going to be hearing from that boy, Ronaldo. This has been a live review. Manchester United beating Everton 3-1 at Goodison. Happy days. Don't forget to subscribe.